Hey everybody, welcome to the Creativity Cave. I'm Dina Rico, and as always, I'm super excited to be stamping with you. I have a great project to share with you today. It is this awesome motorcycle card with a sunset on it, and I think it's super awesome. It uses a great new stamp set from our new catalog called One Wild Ride. I love the set. It's got a lot of great images, but of course the motorcycle is the best of all of them. Makes for some awesome masculine cards. And I am really excited to share with you how easy this background was to create. So let me show you how I got started. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper because you know I do tend to make a mess when I stamp. I also am going to use, this is just an old burp rag that I use. It is helpful to clean my brush out when I'm watercoloring, and so I really like having that. This is an aqua painter which has water in the handle of it so that I don't have to dip into water. It works great. So to start, I am using a piece of watercolor paper. Watercolor paper has just a teeny bit of texture to it, but it's a thick piece of cardstock. It's almost twice as thick as our regular cardstock, and it really holds up well to watercoloring. It can take that ink and not pill up or whatever, but the best part is that it blends wonderfully. Now I'm going to stamp my image in black archival ink. Oops, that's just a little stuff falling in my office. It's just a typical day here at the Creativity Cave. All right, I'm stamping this down. Again, black archival ink because that works for watercoloring. So I've got my image there. Then I'm going to add the tire tread mark image and just stamp that across here a couple of times so that my motorcycle is not floating in space, but rather on the ground. So there we have that, looking good. Now to color this in, what I'm going to do with my aqua painter is, first of all, I want to make sure the water's flowing. It is. If it's not, just give it a squeeze. Then I'm going to pick up ink from my ink pads. To do that, I'll just close the lid, squeeze the lid to the surface of the ink pad, and then you can see the color is in there, and it is the perfect painting palette. So I'll just pick up that color on my brush and then color in my desired area. Now, so for this, I'm making a watercolor background. So I'll bring back my sample so you can see. And I kind of want I'm making sort of a sunset, and I want the brightest spot to be around the motorcycle. I'm going to concentrate that just a little bit more. So it's more circular here. I kind of had it ovally here. I'm going to try and have it circly. How do you like that for super impressive terminology? Okay, so there I've got my yellow. Then I'm going to continue out with Tangerine Tango. And here's where watercolor paper really shines, and you'll see this as we continue to go. The colors blend really nicely, and you can go over them. You can add more color, and the paper won't pill up the way paper can sometimes if you're on just like regular cardstock. Okay, so then I've got orange. I'll add some pink. And now I don't have to be doing it quite like that, but I'm just coloring in and adding more layers to create my effect. Now I have a little hair here. We'll just take that off. Apparently I'm shedding. Okay. Now I don't like the border between these two colors, so I'm going to go back to my lighter tangerine, and then I'm just going to go over it, and now I think I'm liking that much better. Now, if you don't have as much color as you'd like, just simply add more. It's not tricky. Now I'm going to go in and do my last color. This is looking a little rainbowy, so I think we need to fix that. So my last color is Rich Razzleberry, which is the darkest color. So I really want to make sure that it's a little bit darker, and that looks good. And then I think to get some things looking better, I'm just going to kind of do some lines I don't know. Do you like, I'm kind of winging it here. I was trying to change it up from my sample a little bit, but I don't know that that's working out so hot. It looks too rainbowy, but maybe that's okay. I don't know. Maybe you're at home saying, Dina, it's terrible. Hopefully you're like, oh, I like it. You never know. Okay, so I have some pretty good color. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm digging it. Okay. Now the last thing is we've got this ground down here. Now in my sample, I put some Night of Navy on the ground because I just kind of liked the way that looked. So let's continue with that. The one thing I will say about watercolor, especially in a card or a project like this, is I'm adding a very different color to the bottom from what I've been using. But like here I've got yellow. I don't want those colors to bleed, so I want to make sure I don't get too close to where the yellow is so that the colors don't bleed into one another, because you can see how they bleed into each other here. And we don't want that. We want it to just be blue separate from yellow because we don't really need green. Plus, I'm pretty sure these two colors together would not make a pretty green, make an ugly green. Okay, so there is my bottom. Now I'm going to let this sit for a minute to dry, and I'm going to prepare the rest. If you're getting sick of waiting for it to dry, you can always heat it with your heat gun, and we may end up resorting to that so we can finish our card. But I'm going to take my Rich Razzleberry piece of cardstock. I'm going to clean the black ink off with my stamp cleaner. I just squirt a little on there and then clean it off so my stamp is clean. Then I'm going to take my Rich Razzleberry ink pad, close it up, or leave it open, and then I'm going to stamp those tire treads all around the edge. And this gives me kind of a fun tie-in background. So I'm just going to go all... Okay, so I've got the tread marks all around the edge of my cardstock, and my watercoloring has dried nicely. I'm going to do one more thing to this piece. So one of those images in the stamp set was this kind of speckly image. So I'm going to take and stamp that using my Night of Navy ink and stamp that across here like so. And you can see that just kind of adds some texture, so it's sort of like dirt or whatever to the background. So we've got that. Then I will take and adhere this. I want to use a lot of adhesive so that it's not warped and bubbly as it sometimes can be. And again, I'll attach that to my black panel. Now when I use all that fast fuse, I kind of got to make sure I put this down exactly where I want it, because fast fuse does not like to be repositioned. So that looks pretty awesome. And then of course we'll attach it on top of our card. So you can see that even though my lines aren't perfectly straight here, you don't see it once you attach this over the top, which is awesome. Then, actually, before I attach this, I want to do one more thing, and that is I'm going to stamp my greeting. So in my stamp set, I have a few different choices. I picked Hope Today is One Wild Ride, because I think that's kind of a fun saying, and it kind of could go for whatever. And then on the inside, you could put congratulations. There is birthday wishes, blah, blah, blah. So there's different stuff you can add. Gosh, and apparently I am shedding because there's another hair in my way. Blah. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this, and I think I totally did it crooked. Oh, no, not really, but it's not centered. So let's try one more time. My butt was not out far enough. Oh. How's that for super straight? Impressive. This is how I am a successful demonstrator. Look at that. This takes serious skill. Okay, we'll try one more time. Here's another scrap. The beauty of using these scraps is when you mess up on them, it's no big deal. Okay, so the big problem is when I stamp, the camera is in the way, so I can't see what I'm doing. Oh, that's crooked too, and seriously. Okay, now I really have my butt out. That's the key, except okay, seriously. One more. Three's a charm. Three's There, I put all of my concentration into stamping that. All right. So now I'm going to use the banner punch. This was discontinued, so no judging. But I'm just going to stick that in there like so to cut the little banner edges. Of course, if you don't have this punch, you should have got it when I told you to. Kidding. You can just cut it with your scissors. But at any rate, there we have that. And I'm going to pop this up. And my tip for popping things up is to take your dimensional sheets, and this edge part is perfect for skinny little border pieces. So I just cut, you know, like an inch length of this and peel it off. And then this fits perfectly on this strip of for my greeting, my sentiment. And then I will just add this right on top, and then I'll turn it over and trim off the edge right, oops, like so. And isn't that awesome? Love the look. Okay, now I will attach this to my card. I hope you enjoyed my inability to stamp straight. It really does go to show that when you stick your butt out, good things happen. Okay, so here is my card. I hope you liked it. It's similar yet different to the last one. Each one looks a little different. I'm not sure which one you like better, but it's pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you will give making one of these cards or something similar a try. It's really fun. Love this stamp set, though. I can't wait to get moving with it because I think that's going to be a popular one for people. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by the Creativity Cave. Please go to my blog. The link is in the description of this video, and you can see pictures of this as well as the supplies and links to my online store. And of course, I would love it if you needed some supplies if you bought them through me, because it helps me bring more fabulous videos and tips like sticking your butt out when you stamp. You can't get that just anywhere, guys. Anyway, thank you again for stamping with me. I always am happy to be with you. Have a great day, guys. Bye.